Well, it all started when they were talking peace. It was the old Gator man. You know, he was up there, spry as ever, on his feet, and there was the bird thing next to him, and nobody ever trusted the bird thing and his little ruby turban. But they had that peace sign, and it was on the news, and everything was okay. They said the war was over, but I don't know, I'm kind of prejudiced. I wanted to see more lizards on the news. Oh, so the next day I'm really freaked out. I look into the sky and there's birds everywhere and I think, oh my God. And this cop says, no, no, the birds are our friends now. Dig it, you know, it's peacetime. The Peace Brigade is touring the nation. I said, this sucks, man. I hate birds. I'm sick of birds, man. I don't want to see them in my sky. And I was shocked. The cop blew up and he handed me this thing. I'd never seen it before. It was like the Equal Bird Rights Amendment or something. And it was pretty bad if you weren't a bird. I was a lizard. I went to school the next day. And it was weird. It was not like school used to be. There were these big birds in the halls, and they locked up the library, and you couldn't get any art supplies. And it was really weird, and it was darker in there somehow. And the hallways were dark, and a little bit of sunlight came in my room, but there were all these posters everywhere talking about birds, and, you know, nobody seemed to care or notice, but they were everywhere, you know, and there's birds. There was no lizard teachers anymore. They were all bird teachers, and they were teaching bird things, and they said that in the sex education thing that no lizard should ever have sex. And I thought, wait a minute, hey, if no lizards ever have sex, then how will we ever, like, procreate? And the lizards will die off. And the guy said, yes, well, that's what it says in the book. Bright and early the next day, there was a public hanging, and nobody knew who it was, and everybody crowded around, and then everybody started to recognize who was hung, and it was everybody on the school board. And they started to do this a couple of weeks in a row. They got the city council members, and it was weird, you know. Planes or birds and things in the sky were everywhere, and they had nests on the news instead of little desks, and there you could see the Peace Brigade riding around, but the Gator man was gone, and all was left was the ruby turban. That night I had this dream. It was a horrible dream. It made me sick, this dream. I threw up when I woke up after I had this dream. I was on this ladder or something. I was standing up. I had this thing in my hand. It was a knife or something. I was going to kill myself. I wanted to cut my throat or something. And before I knew what I was going to do, I had cut off the back of my head. My brain was like exposed to the air, and I was wobbling around. I fell off the ladder or something. I couldn't stand it, and then these birds were looking at me, and I said, hey, I'm not dead yet, hey, and then my little friend said, hey, don't say anything, they'll kill you. I thought, my God, my brain is leaking out of my head. And then I was in bed or something, and I felt like I was going to die, and so I got up, and I was on these stairs, and I fell down these stairs, and there was people all over looking at me. I kept thinking about my father, you know, and he had died. We got together the next night. It was me and the tortoise and the bear. The bear and the tortoise were my friends, and the tortoise didn't have a shell. They had taken away all the turtle shells. And well, the bear was Big Toad, and he was just good to have around. Anyway, we talked about our plans and got everything real exact, down to the detail, but there wasn't really much to talk about. We didn't really know what we were going to do. Then it just kind of burst out into a firefight, you know. I mean, we didn't have much to shoot with, but we had stolen some guns and blam, and there was birds everywhere. And I guess really all that happened is they used it as an excuse to burn up the school, and I don't know. I mean, they could have killed us right away, but they were just toying with us, I think. So off to prison we went. There had to be a way to fight these guys. We couldn't just give up. There had to be something we could do.